Ladies and gentlemen, this is a great opportunity for myself and for those of you listening. We've been following the saga of Deadpool ever since the footage was, quote, leaked, as Ryan Reynolds calls it, I think back in 2014, right after Comic-Con, and then everything got in motion, and Deadpool was full steam ahead, and now it's out. And there were some other characters that showed up in the trailer that everyone was surprised to see and very excited to see because, and we'll get to this later, they're doing your character right this time from the X-Men movies. Little off, but now they got it right. Please say hello to Stefan
Kapicic, or maybe it's easier to say Kapicic.
Stefan Kapicic.
Perfect. Thank you.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing really great. I'm so excited about all these things happening, you know, with Deadpool, and so many great reviews about my role as Colossus. So right. I'm so excited and so happy these days.
I was looking into your background here, and you pretty much now hit everything you possibly can do in acting, because you were doing television, you were doing movies over in Europe, you were even doing stage performances. Yeah. You were in Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you're going to be in the big American sensation of superhero comic book movies.
Yeah, well, I'm a really lucky guy. I have to say that, you know. God loves me because, you know, there's so many things in my life that I wanted, and I got it. So I just like, you know, I like to tell other people, you know, everything can happen, you know. So just go for it. Believe in yourself, and that can happen. You know, my biggest childhood dream is to be a superhero, and I was a Marvel comic fan, and I geek still, and I am still. So my biggest dream is to become a superhero, and now I am.
Up until, I'll say, roughly the last 10 years, everybody, you know, a young boy, no matter where you are in the world, at one point wanted to be, you know, an astronaut or a policeman or a superhero and stuff like that. But you never really had the chance to be a superhero until now, and you hit it right at the hot point.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of, you know, some sort of a secret plan. You know, if you cannot become a superhero, you know, real superhero, then you have to become an actor. That's right. The only way to become a superhero, you know. So I did it. That's why I am an actor, you know, to become this what I am today. Well, but yeah, of course, I'm joking. But still, you know, being in a possibility, you know, to have all these things, all this fuss, everything, you know, that comes with Deadpool is something unbelievable for me. You know, I did so many things in my career, you know, more than like 70, 80 roles on television, in theater a lot, in films. But, you know, the things that Deadpool is bringing with itself are like unexplainable, you know. It's the fan base. There's nothing similar to this.
Yeah, good that you pointed out the fan base, because your life is definitely changing.
Oh, yeah.
Because of this now. You will be hounded everywhere you go to sign some kind of toy or print out or a poster or something like that.
Well, thank God for that, you know. You know, because I am a comic book fan and a geek, so that's why I'm, you know, if to be in you know, in the other position, because I was the one that was like asking people to sign my comic books. You know, Hugh Jackman asked Hugh Jackman to sign a Wolverine a long time ago. So, you know, now I'm in the other position. So I will, like, give every single autograph to every fan that approaches me, you know, because I understand their position. Because I still am a fan. So, you know, I'll be more than welcome to you know, give an autograph or take a picture with a fan.
Hugh Jackman signed for you. How was your encounter with him? Was he nice?
He was amazing. He was really cool. He's a great actor, though, and he's a great person. So I watched it. Well, it was a year ago, though. It wasn't like a long time ago. It was in New York. Okay. Yeah.
All right. I'm thinking.
You know, I tried to hide, but no, it was a year ago. And it was during his performance on Broadway. He was doing a play called River. And I just approached him, like, after, you know, the performance was amazing. So I just came and I said, please, Hugh, can you just give me an autograph or, you know, at my Wolverine? And so he did. He was really cool. So it was just like a year ago. And now I'm in a different position. You know?
The way you made it sound, I thought it was like a while back, you know, and I was like, wow. All I could think of, like, well, if he was kind of a dick to you in that experience, you're now in his universe. So if they do bring your characters together, then you can be like, okay, it's payback for Wolverine for being such a dick. He wouldn't sign my poster.
No, you know. Well, all those, like, big, huge stars are really cool people. You know, I worked with a lot of them, so they're like, you know, down to earth. You know, because they have everything they want, and they're like doing the thing because they love it. So they're like, I met like Robert Downey Jr., so many of those really A-listers, and you know, even like Ryan Reynolds, who's like Deadpool. That's like one of the best people that I met in my life, and one of the most talented actors that I knew.
Got to talk to him not too long ago, and when we were done, we took photos in the hallway.
Yeah.
And it was one of those moments I had where what I was thinking came out my mouth before I could control it. So we took a photo, and I went, "God damn, he smells amazing." He turned around and he went, "Thanks."
Yeah.
That's in front of publicists and all these other people. I'm like, I have no inner monologue. It just kind of blurted out.
That's really cool, though. Well, I smell good though.
You do,
yeah.
And by the way, you saying that you're self-proclaimed lifelong comic book geek.
Yeah.
Ladies, if you haven't seen what he looks like, Google him. He looks nothing like us. He's totally. He says he's part of this world,
Yes,
but I think he's faking it.
No, I was working on myself, you know, because of my acting career on the other side. But you know, I am.
He's got the accent. He's got the well-groomed beard and the clothing. It's like I don't have a chance sitting next to this guy. Leave some for the rest of us, sir.
Okay, yeah. I promise I will.
Let's talk about Deadpool, the movie itself. A lot of interesting things with this. We've mentioned that demo footage that they made to try to get the movie was leaked in 2014, roughly around the San Diego Comic-Con time. Now, Ryan Reynolds has said that they were trying for the longest time to get this movie created and greenlit by Fox, and they just wouldn't do it, so they went out and made their own footage to show what it would be like, and that this would definitely be something that should be part of the 20th Century Fox Marvel universe. Didn't do anything. Once it got leaked, it blew up the internet, as they say, and everyone went crazy, to the point that all of a sudden now everybody who wasn't calling them back can't get them on the phone fast enough to get this whole thing going. So within a year's time was a phenomenon. They just finished editing and completing the movie in December of 2015. It comes out for Valentine's Day weekend in 2016.
It was finished, as Tim told me, like in the beginning of January.
That's even less time.
Yeah. But the result, you know, and the movie itself is perfect. It's amazing. I don't know what to say. I'm a big, as I said, a fan, but you know, I saw all those comic book movies. But Deadpool brings with it like something totally different. He's a game changer, definitely. It's an R-rated movie because it's such a clever movie, and it's going to approach not only fans, not only people that love superhero movies, then to approach the other adult audience. Like my parents, they like watched it yesterday in Serbia, in Belgrade. So you don't believe how they react. Not only like my parents, my friends, everybody. All everything is sold out in Europe, in ex-Yugoslavia region, and people are raving about Deadpool. So you know, Deadpool is approaching to something that like even Avengers couldn't, you know, because it's totally different. It's not only because it's R-rated, well, more because it's so clever. It's
very honest in it.
It's very honest. Yeah, that's perfectly said. It's very honest. And you have so many like new characters, and you have some characters that finally have their own time on the film, like thank God Colossus. And you have like Ryan Reynolds, who is Wade Wilson. That's, you know, nobody else can play Wade Wilson as good as Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Definitely.
One of the cool things about Deadpool and the honesty that it has, in certain sequences, they're taking shots at the character he portrayed for DC, the Green Lantern, because that didn't go well. He wasn't happy with that experience. They did mock posters for it. There's some stuff in the movie which we won't give away, so people can see it, where he's taking shots at that. He's taking shots at himself, Ryan Reynolds, with a cover of a certain magazine where he's making fun of himself. But
I'm not going to spoil
having Deadpool point out the flaws of everything that's going on and making up stuff, because there's points where it kind of seems like he was wishing that he would join the Marvel Disney universe, even though he's part of the Marvel Fox universe, which I was amazed they let him get away with that. taking shots at what X-Men is doing with two different Professor Xaviers in there. And he goes, which timeline? It's so confusing. But I think the way they fix Colossus is that they have Colossus back in its original comic book form for the Deadpool movie.
Yes.
The previous X-Men movies had Colossus, but he was shorter. He wasn't exactly the same. Deadpool can turn around and go, bring you into the X-Men movies, and then talk to the audience, talk to the camera, saying like how they fucked up or something like that, and then bring you in there, and then everything will be okay because the rest of the movie won't know that there's a difference. But he's telling the audience, yeah, they kind of screwed up. Here's the real Colossus.
Well, unfortunately, in X-Men franchise, well, you have Daniel Cudmore, who's really a good actor, but they didn't care about Colossus, which is really a shame because Colossus is one of the well-known and one of the original X-Men in one way, So he's an iconic character from 1975 till now. So they give him like so little, time, and it was like he looked strange though, So Tim Miller finally decided to, bring the real Colossus, the real comic book authentic Colossus back to life, and thank God for that because people love him so much. So I think we're gonna see Colossus much more now.
Yeah, the Colossus you portray is definitely what the comic book has. He's like 7.5 feet. He's metallic skin with the flat top cut.
Yes.
But in the X-Men, he was maybe 6 foot tall, and he looked like he was liquid silver, like the Terminator.
He looked like Terminator. Yeah, absolutely. That was like really strange because Colossus needs to look like this, and he needs to speak with a Russian accent. He's a Russian guy,
He's a big gentle giant until you piss him off.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So he's a gentleman. He's like old-fashioned superhero. Some sort of like a Marvel Universe Superman. He's just goes for justice. He doesn't swear. He's a kind guy. He's like an old Russian poet soul. And that's perfect. That Tim Miller, gave fans and gave them the Colossus we all imagined how he should look. Still, we don't have his like human form. I hope we're gonna see it soon, and I pray for that. And on the other side, we have like brilliant contrast between Deadpool's character, and I don't think that any other character, from Marvel Universe could like be that such a good contrast to Deadpool's character,
When Colossus realized there's an event happening, and he's watching the news, and then they're describing the guy, and he's like just like eating breakfast in a house at the mansion, and then he goes, "Oh, it's Deadpool." Like he comes off like the father that can't control his kid. Exactly. So even when Deadpool's being such a dick and fighting you guys and everything and doesn't want to listen to your reasoning, you're still talking to him like you're caring for the guy. It's like one day you'll figure this out, you'll come around, and maybe you'll join us and you'll see how much better it is. He's going, "Fuck you, Dad," that kind of thing. Exactly. But you're coming around like, all right, he's 18. I can't do anything. He's not living in my house anymore. One day he'll figure all this out.
Yeah, well, Colossus will never stop. He is like ultimate, superhero. He's like ultimate good. So he will never stop trying to pursue Deadpool to become one of the X-Men. To use his powers for good. So that's the thing that's why Colossus is so specific, because all the other characters like Wolverine, they have like their ups and downs, going bad, but Colossus is a straightforward guy, He knows what his mission is to, try to make bad people good, or good people that are doing like good things in a bad way, like Deadpool, just to bring him to use his powers for good and to become one of the X-Men. So that's one of the biggest qualities of Colossus.
Right before the movie was coming out, they put out in the press that it looked like they had already greenlit the sequel to Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds said, well, let's not be presumptuous, but let's see how the movie does. But everyone kind of got the feeling that this is one of those things that, of course, there's going to be a sequel to this. Has there been any talks to you that, like, not committing, but they saying, hey, if we ever did another one, would you have interest in coming back?
Well, as a matter of fact, I just heard about it, like, yesterday, that the sequel is greenlit, so I don't know anything right now, if I can be honest. What's going to happen? I hope so, and I'm praying that, because people and fans, they adore Colossus, so it will be a shame not to have him like in a sequel. And plus, if we have like X-Force or Cable, Colossus was a part of X-Force one moment, Excalibur, so he is someone that Deadpool brought to life. And I was reading some of the reviews, and there's, I don't know which review was that, but somebody said, like, I would like to see like Colossus and Deadpool always together because it looks like Tango and Cash, that kind of buddy movie. So I think that Deadpool is going to last. Colossus is going to last with Deadpool side by side for a long time, and he's still going to pursue him to become an X-Men, which is really cool. And he's just always trying to get him to understand that he's a good guy, but Deadpool just doesn't care. That's Deadpool.
I don't know if about Tango and Cash. I'm thinking more of like Danny DeVito, Arnold Schwarzenegger, like twins.
Yeah, maybe more twins. Yeah, in that way.
How far into the production did you come into? Because they were already working on it. When did they bring you in to start doing the voices?
I started working after I got the job. That was late August, beginning of the September. So I was working with Tim for 4 months. There was the process that I couldn't tell anyone what I'm doing and why am I flying to LA all the time. But I was doing such a big thing, so I had to stay quiet about the movie. But we were working for 4 months. They finished a lot of those action scenes and the things they were filming in Vancouver. So I started when they started doing all those CGI things and then post-production things because Colossus was just we had a stunt double who was just there as a referral to other actors. So after they finished shooting all the scenes, all those things, then I joined.
You just missed out on the big San Diego Comic-Con experience because they had the big Fox Marvel family photo that they did together with Fantastic Four, Deadpool, and the X-Men Apocalypse all there together, and you start the month right after it.
Yes, I know, and it hurts, I have to tell you. I saw the picture, but, now I'm a part of that, so who knows? Maybe I'm going to have, more of those.
Find someone who can Photoshop and just stand in front of a green screen and see if they can just kind of work you in. And when was Stefan there? I kind of missed it. Oh, he was just there for the day.
That's Colossus, as a movie version. They're standing there behind.
The merchandising, there hasn't been too much for Colossus recently, except for Funko Pop has their little figures that put the Colossus out. So now that the movie is in full force and when it comes out and it'll do well, you'll start to see the Deadpool figures start coming out. Is Colossus part of that line?
The thing is, I don't know. I hope it is, but I think there's something between Marvel and Fox about merchandising, who has the rights to, So that's a bigger, higher politics. I would love to, and I would hope that I'm gonna. I have the pop for Colossus.
I saw it on your Twitter. Yeah,
a few days ago. I just got it as a present from my PR's friend, and that's a really amazing gift. And so I hope so. Those T-shirts and all those things, because people are gonna, they love Colossus right now. So I think that could be it's gonna be selling like crazy.
Let me take care of all your gift giving for the rest of the year, okay? Because we can put you in touch with Funko. You just get a box of them, and now that covers birthday presents and Christmas for this year.
Yes.
Every family member.
That would be perfect. That's a perfect gift for me now,
I want to touch back a little bit on your love for comic books and everything. I read something that your grandfather gave you your first comic book.
Yeah.
What was the comic book?
Wolverine.
It was Wolverine.
Yeah, it was Wolverine, and then it was a pile of comic books, So I was 6 years old, so I saw the pile. There was some store. They were getting the comic books from the States, Marvel Comics only. So I saw the pile, and my grandpa was okay. Take one or two, and I was 6 years old. And I see all those Wolverine, X-Men, Punisher, Spider-Man. You cannot decide which one. So I was maybe this one, Grandpa, maybe that one, maybe. But in the end, my Grandpa saw the terror, in my face. I couldn't decide. I was ready to start crying, And he said, "Okay, let's take all of them." So I will never forget that moment. That was the time when I entered the Marvel universe.
How frequent were the new comics coming into where you were growing up?
Once a month, approximately, not here every week, but once a month. But it would come from all, from Marvel, DC, because we had so many of those magazines that would reprint them, on Serbian or Croatian language, and then when they do the print of it, they just sell the original copies.
So you were reading them in your native language, not in English?
No, I was reading them on English. The other were reading it on Serbian, but I always wanted original everything. So I was 6-year-old, but I was raised and I understood. Like my uncle was sending me tapes from New York because he lived here like for 20 years. So he was like filming cartoons and everything without the titles. So he would send me VHS tapes, in Serbian. I would like watch, and I learned English through that.
What cartoons was he sending you?
Inspector Gadget, He-Man.
He-Man,
yeah, and the Masters of the Universe. That was one of my favorite ones.
You ever look back at it now and realize how awful the animation was?
Yeah.
It's like he keeps running through the same forest in every episode.
Yeah. From today's perspective, yeah. But in those days, that was like, even Transformers.
Or even Voltron.
Thundercats, Voltron.
Voltron was easy. You watch the first 2 minutes to see the setup for the story, skip everything else, get to the last 2 minutes because you see the lions battle the robot, kill the robot, and then there's the jokey ending.
The same way. They're killing it always, just like a big scratch through him. They just kill him in the same way in every cartoon. Always. Just like a different robot, but they kill it in the same way.
But they never learned every episode because the individual cats would try to fight it and it didn't work. Then they formed the robot and then it sort of worked. And like, oh, wait, do the sword and then do it. It's like, just jump to the sword and be done and go home. 5 minutes.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. Now when you're telling me that, yeah, I can see that.
Sorry to ruin your childhood.
Yeah, you destroyed it right now, yeah. Shame on you.
For the American listeners and Canadian listeners who may not know a lot of your work, because a lot of your stuff was done over in Europe and on stage, you were in 24, you were in The Event and the show Numbers, which was on the CBS. And in Unit. Yeah,
and I did like movie Big Miracle with Ken Kwapis in Alaska with Drew Barrymore, Ted Danson, John Krasinski. I did, that was like a really small role. And Brothers Bloom. That was directed by a new director of Star Wars, Rian Johnson. And that was like 10 years ago in Belgrade. That was my first contact with Hollywood at all. It was with Adrian Brody, Mark Ruffalo, who was Maximilian Schell, Rachel Weisz. It was like really good. And the girl from Babel, Rinko Kikuchi. Yeah, so that was my first experience, like long time ago. But if you blink during watching the Brothers Bloom, you wouldn't see me. If you do that,
We'll have to go and screen cap that. Never been a better time to be a comic book fan or collector of anything. What franchises do you want to see have the opportunity to go to the big screen, or what characters would you like to see show up on the big screen?
I would like to see definitely X-Force. I would love to see Punisher again in some better version because I think, Punisher deserves that. He's one of my favorite characters.
They brought him back for Daredevil.
I heard that, but I wouldn't comment that right away. Still, who else? Well, we have everything right now, so I would love to see Kraven the Hunter on the big screen, and I think I can do that. Though he's like the Russian guy, we resemble a little bit. Who else? What else? Juggernaut. To have Juggernaut maybe like in a Deadpool sequel or something like that. Fighting Colossus. That would be a good fight for. That would be really cool. I would love to see Liana, Colossus' sister Magique.
Okay.
That would be cool. And I don't know. There are so many of those characters, so I don't know who own rights on which one. So I don't know if I can talk more about it.
What merchandise would you like to see for Colossus? Because they'll make everything and anything. What would you like to see that you would like to personally own?
Well, everything though. But if I have to choose, like T-shirts,
bed sheets,
bed sheets, yeah. If we can make, how do you say that, kind of mask his haircut, but in a way of
so instead of the mask, you're just wearing the cap.
Just the cap, looking at his like helmet, yeah. His hair will look like helmet, but toys. I would love to see toys, but with this, the Colossus that we made, in Deadpool, that version of Colossus, not the X-Men old version.
With your deal for the movies, do you have a deal for? They already made a Deadpool video game, but I'm sure they'll make another one, or maybe an animated series, or toys that will speak and have sound effects, stuff like that. Are you signed on for any of that to lend your voice to those things?
I cannot talk about it, but I hope that's going to happen soon, but there's like a really good video game that I'm playing for a long time, even like before I was cast for Colossus, and that's Marvel Champions. Mm-hmm. And I have like Colossus as the leader of my team before I become Colossus, which is totally crazy. So I would love to contact those guys and just tell them, let's make him speak.
I was going to say, do you speak while you're playing the game?
Yes, always, yeah. Come, Deadpool, I will destroy you. No.
Or if something goes wrong.
This is the punch,
Like
this.
If you're playing the game, something goes wrong, you just throw the controller, you're like, this is Boulder Dash.
Yeah, I'm going to use that, definitely.
Deadpool is out in the theaters right now. Stefan, thank you so much for your time. It was really exciting to see Colossus done right in this movie here, and they'll have to work him in for future stuff if they do the crossovers with X-Men or whatever they're going to do, because now it's established. I'm sure Deadpool will make some kind of blurb so it fixes the problem and nobody says anything anymore. It's like, oh yeah, Deadpool explained it. We just move on and forget about the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. You're amazing. You have such clever questions, and it was really a pleasure of mine to work with you.
I try to work really hard so I don't have to really work in my real life.
Oh, thank you again. Thank you. Great.
Before we go, I just want to say that don't get jaded by the fact that you're just the voice and not the guy portraying or the actual character, because there's so many characters that are infamous for the voice and not the guy playing the figure. Darth Vader is James Earl Jones, Frank Welker is Optimus Prime, and now you are Colossus.
Even the Groot, Vin Diesel, or Bradley Cooper is the Rocket Raccoon, though, or Ultron.
Right.
It's James Spader. So, I love this because I have one more option, and that's to become Colossus in a human form, or to be maybe even some other Marvel superhero. So you never know. That's a good thing about it. And everybody will know, the Colossus's voice, which is really specific.
Well, you're in a very elite club, and I couldn't be happy for you, sir. I just want to make sure I got your Twitter right and everyone can check you out.
Yes.
You want to give out your Twitter?
Yeah, at Stefan Kapicic, or at StefanKapic.
There we go. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much.